Welcome to Fabulously Flawed, where the perfectly imperfect come to shine. Marnie, along with her sensational sidekick Taylor, are the mother-daughter duo that puts the fun in dysfunction. Every episode, we unpack the chaos of mental health while sprinkling in the sass of pop culture. We're here to share stories, laughs, and lessons that remind you to embrace your quirks and to never, ever let anyone dull your sparkle. So join us as we celebrate the beauty of being fabulously flawed. Let's get real, let's get raw, and let's get ready to add a little extra shimmer to your day.
Hey, fabulous friends. How is everybody doing? And I hope you're answering fabulous. Welcome. I am your host, Marnie, and joining me, as always, my dazzling, delightful, delicious, darling, dainty daughter,
There's
Taylor.
my cue to come in. What's up, beautiful people?
Thank you for joining us. Today's episode, because May is Mental Health Awareness Month, we sometimes forget about the men. So this episode is titled, You Can't Spell Mental Without M-E-N. Men, mental. So if you're listening to this, whether it's your dad, an uncle, a brother, a friend, your cousin, your husband, your partner, whomever, somebody has a male figure in their life that some of these topics we're going to talk about could be relevant to you.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, because if I hear, since man time, you've heard man up, don't cry. And there is no difference in our brains, man or woman, when it comes to mental health, you know, whether it's anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts.
Oh my God, mental illness does not discriminate. Oh, absolutely not. No. And it's really sad because men are so overlooked in the conversation surrounding mental health and mental illness, and men are more likely to die by suicide than women.
There's a very strong statistic about that.
Yes, no, I have the list here, and let's just say that men are way less likely to receive mental health treatment.
Does it say a statistic versus women?
So, yes. So in 2020, that's the latest, data
and we
collection
know,
point.
I am sure, since COVID, it must
Things
be
have
drastically
changed.
changed.
Right. So let's just say, I guess, pre-COVID or start of COVID, that men died by suicide 3.88 times more than women. That's almost 4 times more than women. That's a lot. And they do not seek mental health treatment nearly as often as women, and that is the problem. And June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
It is awesome.
Yes, but I like that we're kind of getting a head start on the discussion because, boy, does it, need to happen.
Yeah, it's funny because since man time, here's the problem. When someone had a mental health condition, you were either labeled, you're going to the funny farm, you're going to the cuckoo's nest.
Yes. Speaking of that, sorry, I want to interject. We were just watching the episode of Cold Case.
Yes.
That took place in 1954.
Yes.
And they treated
like
mental
animals.
health patients like they were absolutely fucking nuts and crazy. Oh my God.
Now, here's the thing. Nobody ever thought to put someone in the middle of that spectrum. So when you hear funny, and I am sure these people were not medicated, because me not medicated, I'm just so mean, passionate, and everything.
Nobody likes unmedicated, Marnie.
No. Thank you, Jesus, for my medication.
Yeah,
because I notice the mornings when I'm like, I always take at the same time, but if I don't, I'm so snarky and just rude, and like all my subconscious memories come whooshing through.
I know.
But it keeps me leveled. So
yes, of
yay,
course.
serotonin.
Yeah.
or whatever my medication is. But back to men. So when you see these episodes or on TV, the way it describes itself, people running around in circles, flapping their arms, but nobody ever talked about a man can get anxious. They sure do. A man can be depressed. He sure can. So when I was first diagnosed in 2017 with, starting my antidepressants and my Adderall, that's when Daddy had taken Lexapro, and he poo-pooed it his whole life, anti-medication. But there was a little bitty window where I got him on Lexapro, and it was like, I don't care about traffic. I'm cool right now.
It chilled him out so much. And he, in his brain, he was like, I'm a dude. I don't need medication. Look at me. Like, I'm this businessman who's gone so far without it.
Right.
And then the second he took Lexapro, things change for the better.
But for men, there is nothing wrong. It's like, a boy cries. It's like, oh, stop crying. No, let the kid cry if he hurts. Don't say you man up. Don't cry.
No, I think I've said this on, a previous episode, but I think it's the sexiest thing when a man is vulnerable and doesn't conceal his emotions and
if you're
lets
listening,
it out.
And if you're listening to this about your dad, it's the most genuine, heartfelt thing you could do is to watch or to just have open communications with your family members, especially men. And I'm going to dive into the fraternities because college is starting. And if you have a son, a brother, a cousin, a friend, or you, for all our male listeners, I am begging you, for the love of God, please do not think a fraternity and what you have to do to join is going to make you a whole person and validate your existence. It doesn't. Stay true to yourself, please. What they do is they demean you. Kids have died. Read about it on all the many fraternities of alcohol poisoning. And what goes on, it's not like it used to be.
Oh my God. I am surprised the IFC hasn't shut down Greek life.
You're just as guilty for watching. So if you're against certain things, if you're not a chugger of beer, chug, don't pretend to be accepted by Kappa, or whatever, Kappa Marnie, whatever it is. I don't want to say a fraternity and get in trouble, but I see so many boys that you grew up with, through the years at fraternity parties acting like, who are you? Chugging, sitting under the keg, throwing up. I was just at your bar mitzvah. We know this is not you.
No, it really, and I often think that when people speak about Greek life and the damage that it can do to those a part of it, they are talking more about the girl side of things and how mean girls can be and how judgmental they can be.
But let's flip it on Mars.
A lot of the time, the discussion does not, surround fraternities and what they do to these guys, and
it's horrible.
And you just know. I want to say, I'm guessing, 70% of the guys that join these frats put on this facade and try to be something they're not to be accepted. And in turn, it just ends up fucking with their head, fucking with their mental health, and making them feel worse. Please avoid that.
Like, there was someone in our neighborhood that was a part of a group of hazing and shoving like a baseball bat up some kid's ass.
No,
which is the most disgusting thing.
Horrifying.
But what, you think you're cool by being there? Why? Does it now make your existence? Are you going to go home with these people? Are they going to make your grades? Are they going to get you into college? So it's so sad how people think so little of themselves that they need to put themselves in harmful, dangerous situations to feel accepted. Just like a girl does certain things to do, to feel worthy within this group.
Right.
But let me tell you something. How many fraternity brothers really have those people's backs as they're sitting there dying of alcohol poisoning?
Not many. And it's quite upsetting that the reason that these guys, girls too, but this episode is focused on guys, men, the reason that they feel like they have to do these things is because of society and the societal pressures of being this tough guy and drinking beer and being intimate with women and doing all of this stuff. And it's like, I just think that it damages their brains so much.
Look, you could be a bodybuilder and be as masculine as you want, but you could say, I'm fucking depressed. I can't, God bless Michael Phelps. And I want to contact, did I just read your mind?
I cannot believe you brought up Michael Phelps because yesterday he did an interview with NBC News.
No, he did not.
And I was watching it. And I hate that I'm forgetting the name, but it was all about mental health.
Uh-huh.
And he was saying that he has this close buddy of his who is someone I think famous in the sports world. I'm forgetting the name. And Michael was saying, when I'm having my down days, I reach out to him. When he's having his down days, he reaches out to me.
Person.
We understand each other. And when do you ever see a male athlete on TV, on a major news network like NBC, talking about their mental health? Never.
Wait, when the Olympics happened, I remember 4 years ago when he started talking about the Phelps Foundation, and he tells his family, like, Daddy's not okay today. And it's normal. Like, I'm looking at the way our sound goes up and down, with the podcast sound. That's life. You have up days and down days.
That's exactly what Michael Phelps was saying, that he, he's doing so well, but he has those days where he's so down and he has that person he can reach out to.
See, here's an example in my own world. It's okay not to be okay. Let's say daddy's stressed out from work, hypothetically, and he's just in his own little work mode, but the energy's not vibing with mine. So I remove myself. So daddy will, this is just a hypothetical, or he'll say, what's wrong? Why are you not downstairs? I'm like, because you're a little bit irritated. No, I'm not. I'm fine. Then I say, it's okay that you're irritated. You could be irritated. I just want to stay away from the irritation right now. Get it out. Go scream, yell, drive your car, bang drums. It's okay to be irritated. It's okay to have a bad day. You don't always have to say, I'm fine.
Yes, guys,
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Sorry, baby, if you're listening. I mean, you know what I mean?
No. What she's saying is that it's healthy for men to let their emotions out. Do not, for all you women listening, to the male people, to the men in your life, please let them know that it's okay to let their emotions out and to not repress any negative feelings, because it will just eat
I'll
them
tell you what
alive.
happens, and I've said this before.
And I hate that there's just
when you repress emotions, what happens is if you take a ball and you keep putting it underwater and you put it underwater and you put it underwater, what happens when you let go?
Yep.
And that's what I did my entire life, because I always suppressed it and I never knew what would be that last little trigger. You could have said mustard, and who knew what, and it could have triggered me from Dijon mustard from God knows when, and I lose it because I always suppressed it. Now I'm just like, I just want to stay home. I'm just not, I am happy in my safe place. And it makes so much sense and easier in life to communicate it. And what can somebody say? No, you're wrong for feeling that way. No, your favorite color can't be pink. So when you communicate it, life is so much easier. But men have this thing like, oh, I'm a strong man.
Exactly. And you want to know why the suicide rates for men are higher? You want to know why they don't seek out mental health treatment? It's because they feel like they have to put on this persona.
It's so badass. It's so badass. Whenever I see a man saying, you know, I'm not having a good mental health day, whether it's actors or not, I'm just like, thank you.
Oh my God.
Thank
Please,
you.
I am counting on all of you, of my listeners.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just had this thought.
You have a thought.
I'm sorry. I have this thought, which our new studio will be ready. We're so excited. We're moving studios, and I say this all the time, but I really can't wait to start filming, maybe because I've lost 13 pounds and my vanity took over. But, here, wait, let me get back my thought. Shoot, see, my Adderall just peaked because I had something to say. Keep talking, it'll come back to me.
No, it means that your Adderall isn't working because you're forgetting what you had to say. Your focus
I'm
is
all
off.
over the place. That's true. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm in the mid-peak Adderall.
Well,
but
I had a thought too, and then you interrupted me with your thought, and now you're
so
forgetting it.
let's just go back to like with dudes.
I think it just makes me,
I remember.
okay.
When they say have mental health days and everything else, this doesn't mean you have to tell your boss what's going on with you. You could just, no is a sit, not with your boss, but you could just say, I need a day. Or even if you take a sick day, you don't have to explain why. And, people are like, I don't want people to know my mental health at work if we have mental health days. Well, they're not going to put on the announcements. Jane Smith is out today because her OCD was in overdrive. So-and-so's out today because negative Nelly was depressing too much. Like, nobody cares. That's not, but you need to take care of yourself. And that's where I think companies are now bringing in people to speak about mental health, like I did for American Airlines. Just a little, note to self when they were training and they wanted to know how to have peace in the workplace. I said, I know we're talking about men, but it was corporate. So there were men and women. I said, the bosses, you taking your anger out on your employees, y'all got to fix that. Employees, don't take it so personal because your bosses are angry.
Yeah.
And so each person needs to work on themselves in different ways.
Of course. I mean, it's kind of like a circle of life type of thing. Everyone's kind of intertwined and working together. No, I mean, and for all of you listeners right now, this is, what I was getting to earlier. Please encourage the men in your life to seek out mental health treatment.
Please.
Even if you are happy as a clam and not anxious and not depressed, therapy is still so unbelievably healthy. And I think people think they only need to go to therapy when they're feeling down. No.
It's like your teeth cleaning. It's maintenance.
Get it going from the get-go.
Yep.
Like, get in therapy now. And men, like so many men are not in therapy when they should be. And it's just going back to the death rates. Men dying by suicide, just almost 4 times as high as women.
I believe, I'm not a doctor, but I can pretty much tell how when I see angry men, whether it's road rage or it's this, I want to say, go fix yourself. So when people are chanting, and I don't even think half these people know what they're protesting about. There was an interview and they asked, do you even know what you're out here for? They're like, no, but I'm just supporting my, they're just taking that and saying, oh, I can be angry. Oh, I can be angry. So there's this stigma. The more we don't talk about mental health, the more people are not going to talk about it. So that's why
you got to get the conversation going in any way possible.
Want to go on the rooftop. Like, we live in Miami. Why are we not on a rooftop shouting from the rooftops? Fix yourself. Why would it? It's okay. I want to, if you're having anxiety, I am not here to diagnose you. I'm here to help you understand. If it's out of your control, stop thinking about it. If you didn't get that email, it's out of your control. Don't go yell at the waitress.
I want to say it's easier said than done.
Oh, it's taken me I'm now Studio 54.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
I think it's so, oh my God, everything is easier said than done, but especially this. So I think it kind of starts with you, and you got to just get over that hump and do what's healthy for your mind and your soul and your body whenever you can.
If you notice someone in your family, I give it statistically 2 weeks. If you notice they are not, everyone has up days or down days, but if they completely withdraw from their activities, if they talk about not being worthy, if they start giving things away, pay attention to behaviors.
The consistent behaviors.
Because there are risk factors for people that have, that die of suicide, and there's warning factors. I fall under the warning factors because I've been suicidal ideation. I've been depressed. I did not have treated mental health. I had untreated mental health conditions. People that are risk factors, it could be a change in a new life. It could be your parents being divorced, you divorced. No matter what it is, there is no right or wrong the way people handle their emotions. But if you notice an excessive with somebody, whether it's your dad, like I said, brother, cousin, anyone, if you notice your parents arguing, for example, interject.
I kind of want to interrupt you. I kind of disagree. I think there is a right and wrong way to deal with your emotions. There's not a right and wrong way how to feel.
Correct.
But taking your anger out in terms of violence.
Oh, no. Let me rephrase this. I say take 10 minutes out of the day. Do whatever you have to do to let your anger out. I don't care if you bang your head on a tree, drums, stomp on your feet, or cry hysterically. But when that's over, channel your energy to good. I'm saying feel your feelings, but don't take it out on people. That's what I meant.
Yes. No, that's okay. Of course.
Somebody may cry, somebody may not cry, but whatever you do. And I think I got that with Harrison Ford. It's the therapy show. Oh my gosh. He's a psychiatrist. And
Harrison Ford?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know.
Shrinked. Oh my God, it's Shrinked. It's on Hulu, Netflix, or Prime, one of them. And he tells the girl, one of his daughter, actually, to set a timer. He does this every day, 10 minutes, and let it the fuck out.
I love that.
Empty.
Love that.
Purge it, and then turn it off. Get it out, because you cannot hold it in. And that's what I was trying to say. There's no right or wrong way to feel. And when I'm talking about, that's what I was referring to. I guess I had that conversation in my head.
Yes, you tend to do that often. That's okay. That's why I'm here.
But, so if you say to someone, and also asking somebody if they're suicidal, I know this is kind of heavy, does not make somebody suicidal. It does not. Somebody doesn't wake up.
It just shows that you care. I mean, neglecting somebody is far worse than saying, are you having these thoughts?
Here's the thing. If someone in your life, a male figure or whomever in your life comes to you with that vulnerability and says, I'm not feeling myself, I'm feeling anxious, depressed, I can't sleep, I can't eat, whatever it is, don't shame them. Don't say,
oh my God,
you'll be fine. What's wrong with you? How could you be upset? You drive a Lamborghini, whatever the fuck they think, because the only difference is you cry either in a Lamborghini or you cry on a park bench. Mm-hmm. It is no different.
Right.
Okay.
And I want to say men, it's not, obviously if you're a man, it's not your fault that you haven't sought out the proper treatment, because I'm sitting here thinking, and it's like when you look at pop culture and the depiction of mental illness in pop culture,
it just makes you out to be like an animal.
Well, yes, it's always women they show. Like in shows where you see like quote unquote mental asylums or this, it's always just women you see. It's always women who are depicted as being the crazy, bipolar, schizophrenic out ones.
They always say you divorced your wife. They'll be like, what, she was crazy?
And they never showcase men and their mental illness. So I think that the media and pop culture and everything.
I'm not going to talk about mass shootings or anything, but I'm going to say, look at our statistics of who the shooters are.
I mean, yeah, it's always a man. I mean, men are violent creatures because of the untreated mental health. Please listen, untreated.
Treated. Not one time have we ever had a mass shooting where they said, oh, Dr. So-and-so was under the care of Dr. So-and-so and he was medicated. Therefore, I'm quite surprised that this happened. That never happens. They just say, oh, he must have a mental illness. That's what they say.
Yeah. I mean, it
angers me because they're untreated and the signs are there. So I'm getting very passionate. The signs are there. If you see a kid who's constantly bullied or constantly being bullied or talks about, I'm going to fuck everyone up or I'm going to fuck this place up, whatever you hear, pay attention. Don't sweep it.
Please don't take anything lightly, especially when they say things like that, because you just want to prevent the absolute worst from happening.
That's why just also you don't have to be a dick to people, because you could be that one extra dickified thing that can happen to someone to put them over the edge. So many people suffer when we go out and talk to people on the streets, which can't wait for you to watch soon. So when I ask people if they're happy, their reactions are going to surprise you because so many people are not. But you can be happy, being aware of what upsets you. And
it starts with education too. Like it's still Mental Health Awareness Month.
Even if you don't go to a therapist, I'm sorry, Tay, I didn't mean to interrupt. There are apps now. There are so many apps. Feel Good app, I'm Here For You app, Better Health app. There are tons of apps that you could even just watch someone talking to inspire you.
Yeah, which kind of correlates with what I was saying, is that educating yourself is so important. Educating your brother, your nephew, your son, your uncle, your cousin, I think that a lot of women tend to be more educated on mental health. So, and I going back to blaming society for that. It's not men's fault. It's the pressures and societal pressures placed on men. But I think it's up to, I know a majority of our listeners are women, so I'm going to just talk to them for a second, say, girls, ladies, talk to those men in your life, educate them on what mental health and what mental illness is. Just starts with educating them
and let them know it's okay to start a conversation.
Yes, that you don't have to be this tough guy. You don't have to be this macho man to be a man. In fact, like I said before, it is so much sexier when a guy is in touch with his emotions and lets it out instead of just being this like asshole who suppresses all his angry emotions. Because all these guys who are dicks and who are so rude and just like, those ignorant guys we all hate.
It's funny.
They're all fucking struggling. That's why they act like that.
Years ago, you go out on a date and you're like, hi, I know, and you're flirty. And today it's like, you want to turn me on? Do you go to a psychiatrist? Ooh, talk psychiatrist to me, ADHD. It's like, do you go to therapy? You do? Okay, that's a turn on. That's more of a plus. Like I would look at a check mark of therapy box before I would look at a career box.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, I was talking to my friend the other day and he's like, yeah, I've been in therapy for 6 years now. I'm like, who are you and where did you come from? Because I literally don't know any guy my age. I don't really know many men, in fact, at all, but especially those in their 20s who are in therapy. I think that's incredibly rare because unless they've probably gone through, a traumatic event. But in general, most guys aren't in therapy. So when I hear that they are, I'm like, holy shit, you are a alien because you're not like the rest of the guys in the best way possible.
No, absolutely. And, it's generational trauma ends now. We are here. I think
that was the title of our first episode.
Was it? That's right. Because it does. So many people, these asshole boys can't help it that their dad grew up being beat, saying, you're no good son. So what do they say to their kids? We don't know what goes on behind people's closed doors, Tay.
A lot of fucked up things. That's what goes on.
If somebody doesn't call you back, don't take it fucking personally. They could be getting yelled at. They could be feeling, we don't know. So it's never about you. But all of these people, when I look at people being dickwads, I just think to myself, man, what'd you go through? Or even when I see a girl, the bitchier she is, I love it because I'm like, man, what's going on behind your closed doors?
It literally makes you want to dig into their mind and be like, what's going on?
I wanted to go talk to women in Boca, like on the street, well, like we do. And somebody said to me, "Ooh, Boca, they're so bitchy." And I'm like, I know, I love it because the faker they appear to be, the deeper their issues are. I love it.
For
love
sure.
It, love
and that applies to both men and women. They just kind of show it differently. Usually the women are just like, bitchier. I mean, it's just, men and women, the way they both can be horrible people, but they act differently about it.
I think RuPaul, is one of the most badass people to me, because to come out as a gay man, an African-American gay man, and work and walk that runway the way he did, come on, that's bravery. And men are afraid to say, I'm anxious. Look at fucking RuPaul. Enough said. Okay?
Oh my God, Ru is a queen. No pun intended.
No pun intended. The best. No.
He is a drag queen, but
I started wearing MAC makeup because in 1994, because RuPaul was the face of MAC.
Wait, I didn't know that.
The Studio
90s?
Fix in the 90s.
In early-ish mid-90s.
It was like 94. I was like 20. Your age. Oh my gosh. I was so different.
Wait, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sitting here trying to think of other male figures who we could also praise, but there's not many.
I know when we finish
Michael
this
Phelps?
episode.
I mean, yeah, but
look, even Carson. I love you, Carson, on Carson Daly.
Oh,
he started his foundation last year or 2 years ago. They had a gala last year, which I'm inviting myself, Carson, this year to the gala. That's the second annual mental health awareness, because he's like, look, before he goes on The Voice, he's fucking shaking in his fucking pants.
Yeah.
He's like, I have anxiety. Like, we would never know, because he's like, welcome to The Voice, welcome to Pop Star. I love Carson, but he's opening the conversation for me.
Thank you, Carson Daly, for that. Thank you, because Hollywood is lacking like crazy when it comes to...
Just because they're an actor doesn't mean they didn't come from fucked up families.
Like, where we see all these female celebrities coming forward talking about their mental illnesses. Where are all the men? Where are all the men? Please come forward.
Just because they're an actor it's a job. Like, it doesn't mean they're any different of their mental health than if you work at the supermarket.
I mean, if anything, being in the entertainment industry makes anxiety worse and depression worse.
Well, there's a documentary I want to watch. It's called The Dark Side of Comedy, and Joan Rivers was one of the topics they did, and the comedians who are so successful have the most pain. We find humor. Dark humor is the way I cope with stuff. Like, I'll be like, I'll say things like so dark and twisty, and you look at me, I go, but that's how I cope. I make jokes about things. I didn't see the visual. But it was This Is Us, the show, is that the three of them?
Yeah.
Randall, he was crying on the floor.
Yes.
And Jack, was it Jack? Went to comfort his brother. And that was like, thank you for doing that on that show, because it portrayed that a man can have anxiety. A man loses his shit, but you got to lose that shit in the appropriate time and place and not take it out on other people.
Yes.
That's where the awareness comes in.
That's where the awareness and education comes in. And so I'm really glad that we kind of started this discussion surrounding men's mental health a couple weeks before. Actually, no, it's like May 20th now.
Oh my God. How?
Okay, so Men's Mental Health Awareness Month is like 10 days away. We're going to dive into this topic so much further and deeper. And I really, really want to get the conversation on this going even more, because it is so desperately needed. And we will take the month of June to do just that.
And when we, interview people on the street and ask certain men, what does mental health, what do you do for your mental health? And I'm curious to see if they do anything, how they react.
I'm really excited to do that one, because I think it would give us a lot of insight into how everyday people think and act when it comes to this subject.
You will be so shocked how you're not alone. And speaking of being not alone, you'll never feel alone if you go to our Etsy store.
Oh, I love the way you kind of tied that in there right now.
I do. And because you can't do anything but smile when you look at our store. The products, the merch, it's just a feel-good, fun, fabulous, motivational, affirmational, personalized happy place.
Yeah, I could not have said it better myself. You just described our shop perfectly.
Wait, there's more. No, like I'm an infomercial.
There is more, but you have to go on Fabulously Flawed with 2ds.net, which will take you right to the Etsy store.
And also, guys, go to my website, fabulouslyflawed.com. It's actually Fabulously Flawed with 3ds.com.
Yes, 3ds.
I wanted the name Fabulously Flawed, guys, so I was like, add as many Ds.
Right.
Go to my website, and my weekly blog blogs. You can read about myself, my book, which is the most friggin' amazing story, which we're going to talk about on our next episode, because True to Myself, Peace, Love, Marnie, you find it on Amazon. And the fact I'm still here, you're listening to me, is a friggin' miracle. After each paragraph, you're going to be like, she's alive. She's still alive.
She
didn't give up.
alive, and she is a badass.
That's right. And you are badasses too. So take that badassery and keep yourself protected. Don't let anyone burst your bubble. Never, ever, ever, ever let anybody dull your sparkle.
We love you guys so much.
Until next time.
Thank you from the bottom of our heart for listening.
Love you. Sending you so much love and peace. Until next time.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Fabulously Flawed. Remember, we drop new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday, so be sure to subscribe and never miss a moment of this dazzling duo. Craving more sparkle? Head over to fabulouslyflawed.com for exclusive content, episode archives, and more. And don't forget to check out Fabulously Flawed on Etsy for tons of amazing products that are sure to brighten your day. Be sure to follow us on socials to keep the conversation going and become a part of our Fabulously Flawed family. Until then, keep embracing your beautiful imperfections and remember, never let anyone dull your sparkle.